Hi there. Recently, on a trip to the world-famous Brimfield Antique Show, I was lucky enough to find one of the best items I'd ever seen and been able to afford. A genuine vintage aluminum oval roaster from Wagner Ware. Wagner was one of the most famous makers of cast iron cookware during the 20th century, but they also produced a famous line of Magnalite aluminum pots and pans as well. They went out of business in 1999, but many of those Magnalite pieces are still out there. Quite a few of these oval roasters can be seen on eBay and other sites, but the one I found at Brimfield appears to have been made even before Wagner introduced their Magnalite series. It has the same markings as a Wagner cast iron Dutch oven from the 1920s to 1930s, and the patent date is inscribed underneath the lid. I couldn't believe the price they sold this for, and there was no way I could pass this up. And now it's time to clean up this roasting pan and get it ready for cooking, especially since the holidays are coming. I figured it would be best to use my favorite cleaner for vintage cookware, namely Barkeeper's Friend. The toughest part to clean would certainly be underneath the lid, so we started there. And I scrubbed and scrubbed and scrubbed. And after about 15 minutes, the end result was actually not bad. The metal definitely had a better shine after all that scrubbing. However, there was a lot of grit and dirt between these ridges that just didn't seem to come off after all of that scrubbing. So it was time to try a different method. I'd seen several YouTube videos on restoring aluminum, and I decided to try the method that looked the most effective: Easy Off Oven Cleaner. Now, it was absolutely crucial not to use the yellow can because this contains lye. Lye will react with aluminum and permanently damage it, so it's very important to use the blue can and not the yellow can. Also, Walmart was out of the brand name Easy Off, so I had to use the store brand. The instructions said to let the cleaner sit for at least 2 hours, but after only 15 minutes, it looked as though the stains and dirt were coming off. Oh, well, you know, I think this stuff works. Look at this. Okay, I will definitely say that stuff works. And the result of using this stuff was outstanding! With no effort at all, the dirt and grit brushed right off. I was only using a soft bristle toothbrush. Now for a good scrubbing with dish soap to remove the oven cleaner residue. And the lid looked almost as good as new. To say I was satisfied with this was an understatement. There were still some stains on the outside, and this didn't seem to come off with Barkeeper's Friend. Now it was time to take the next step and polish the outside of the pot. Of course, this could only be done on the outside because we're cooking with the inside. We rub on a very light coating of Mother's aluminum polish, then buff it off with a dry shop towel. And finally, after thoroughly cleaning the inside and polishing the outside, here is the result of the Wagner aluminum roaster. The polishing certainly does make the scratches more prominent, as well as a small dent on the bottom. However, I'm definitely not experienced enough in antique restoration to try sanding or buffing them away. Besides, this pot will still cook just fine with the scratches, and it's hardly enough to lessen the beauty of this piece. So, as far as I'm concerned, this is definitely good enough. I have no intention to stop cooking in cast iron, and cast iron will certainly be the centerpieces for Thanksgiving, Christmas, and any other holidays I'll be cooking for. However, my friend Mama Bear is already planning to use this aluminum roaster when she makes her annual pernil for Christmas, and I'm certain it will be especially good when cooked in this. I'm quite pleased with how this turned out, and it definitely makes this surprise find at Brimfield well worth the cost and effort to clean it up. I hope you've enjoyed watching this pan being brought back to life, and most of all, I hope it inspires you to have fun cooking in your own kitchen, whether you're using aluminum cookware or cast iron or both. Thank you for watching. Oh, and one more thing for the inevitable YouTube comments. No, cooking with aluminum does not cause Alzheimer's disease.